Welcome to the Omnidental Podcast. Most of you listening probably assume that the moment you get a cavity, uh, a drill and a filling are completely inevitable.
Right, yeah, like it's a permanent failure.
Exactly. We tend to picture the dentist's chair, the high-pitched whine of the drill, and assume that tooth decay is essentially a one-way street, a permanent biological failure that requires a mechanical fix.
Which is, an incredibly common misconception. We are conditioned to think of our teeth as these static, lifeless blocks of calcium in our mouths, kind of like stones.
Yeah, just rock sitting there.
Right, but they are actually highly dynamic structures. They're alive, in a sense.
And that is the exact misconception we are breaking apart today. Because the core question of our deep dive is this: can you reverse tooth decay naturally?
Such a great question.
To answer that, we're looking at a really fascinating piece of writing from Dr. Bayless Poles at Omnidental of Arlington Heights. It was published back in June 2026, and it's titled The Science and Limits of Natural Tooth Remineralization.
Yeah, that's a fantastic source.
Our mission today is to separate the actual biological science from, the endless stream of internet fiction, and to map out exactly where the line is drawn between a DIY at-home fix and the moment you absolutely need professional intervention.
Which is a vital distinction to make. Because while your teeth do have a built-in healing mechanism, that mechanism has very strict, unforgiving biological limits.
Right.
If you misunderstand those limits, you can end up doing a lot of permanent damage to your mouth.
Let's start with how we visualize the tooth itself. When I was going through Dr. Poles' research, I realized I had the totally wrong mental model for decay.
Oh, so?
Well, I always pictured it like a sudden event,
Yeah.
You wake up and boom, there's a hole in your tooth. But it is actually a continuous microscopic tug of war happening in your mouth every single day.
Precisely. To understand how to heal a tooth, you really have to understand the battlefield first.
The battlefield, I like that.
Yeah. So the outer layer of your tooth, the enamel, is the hardest substance in the human body. It is essentially a highly complex lattice. Think of it like an incredibly dense brick wall.
Okay, a brick wall.
The bricks are microscopic crystalline rods, and the mortar holding them all together is made of minerals, primarily calcium and phosphate.
So on one side of this biological tug of war, we have a process the source is called demineralization. This is the attack on that brick wall.
Exactly. And the attackers are the naturally occurring bacteria in your mouth.
Right, and whenever you consume anything with sugar or simple carbohydrates, those bacteria feed on it.
They absolutely feast on it. And as a byproduct of feeding, they excrete acid.
Which is super gross when you think about it.
It is, yeah. But that acid is what does the real damage. The acid drops the pH level in your mouth.
And pH is just a measure of how acidic or alkaline an environment is, right?
Right. When the pH drops below a certain critical threshold, the environment becomes so acidic that it literally begins to dissolve the mineral mortar holding your enamel lattice together.
Right.
The minerals are just leached right out of the tooth. That is demineralization.
But the research highlights a terrifying detail about this process. It isn't just a quick hit. Those acids continuously attack your tooth enamel for up to 20 minutes after you finish eating.
Yeah, that 20-minute timer is crucial to understand.
So one bite of a candy bar basically equals a 20-minute siege on the wall.
That's right. Because on the other side of the tug-of-war, pulling the rope in the opposite direction, is your body's natural defense remineralization.
Okay.
And the primary delivery system for that defense is your saliva.
So how did saliva actually rebuild the wall? I mean, I never thought of spit as a construction worker.
Right, it's amazing. Saliva acts as a chemical buffer. Its first job is to wash over the teeth and neutralize that acid, raising the pH level back to a safe, neutral state.
So it puts out the fire first.
Exactly. And once the environment is neutralized, the saliva acts as a biological delivery vehicle. It carries dissolved calcium and phosphate ions and literally trowels them back into the microscopic gaps in the enamel lattice, replacing the missing mortar.
That is incredible. And the National Institute of Dental and Craniofacial Research confirms that this cycle acid attack, followed by saliva repair, happens continuously, right?
Yes, all day long. Your daily habits dictate which side wins.
Wait, I have to stop you there because I am completely guilty of a habit that suddenly seems terrible in this context.
Oh, what's the habit?
So I will often make an iced sugary coffee at 9 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And I'll nurse it at my desk until lunch.
Oh, yeah.
If Every single sip restarts that 20-minute acid clock. Are you telling me my saliva never actually gets a chance to play defense that entire time?
That is the exact biological reality.
Ugh.
When we talk about tooth decay, the frequency of your sugar intake is often far more destructive than the total volume.
Because of the timer.
Exactly. If you drink that entire coffee in 5 minutes, your mouth endures a 20-minute acid attack, and then your saliva spends the next 2 hours repairing the microscopic damage. The wall gets rebuilt.
But if I sip it over 3 hours?
If you sip it over 3 hours, the environment remains highly acidic the entire time. The saliva never gets to raise the pH. It never gets to deposit the calcium and phosphate.
Oh, man.
The bacteria are just relentlessly dissolving the mortar, and you are entirely in a state of demineralization.
Oh.
This is why spacing out meals and eliminating constant snacking is the absolute foundation of natural remineralization. You have to give your saliva the recovery time it needs to actually work.
That completely changes how I view my morning routine. I'm chugging my coffee from now on.
It's definitely better for your teeth.
So let's say someone has been sipping that coffee all morning, the bacteria are winning the tug-of-war, and the mortar is dissolving. How far can that damage go before the game is just permanently lost?
That's the big question.
Because Dr. Poles' research makes it very clear that natural healing has a hard physical ceiling, like a point of no return.
It does. The research breaks tooth decay down into 5 distinct biological stages. Stages 1 and 2 take place entirely within the enamel layer, and this is your window of opportunity.
Okay, so tell me about stage 1.
Stage 1 is called a white spot lesion. Because the acid has leached out the minerals, the mortar, the tooth actually loses its translucency in that spot and turns chalky white.
But the physical structure of the brick wall hasn't collapsed yet.
No, it's just hollowed out on a microscopic level.
So at stage 1, the saliva can still pack new minerals into that hollow space.
Correct. Stage 1 is entirely reversible. Stage 2 is slightly deeper enamel decay. The acid has hollowed out more of the lattice, moving deeper toward the inner tooth.
But again, the surface layer of the enamel is still physically intact. Like, it hasn't caved in yet.
Exactly. With highly aggressive remineralization tactics, you can still reverse stage 2.
But then we hit stage 3, and the sources draw a massive red line here.
Yeah, stage 3 is dentin decay. Underneath your hard, incredibly dense enamel is a layer called the dentin.
And dentin is completely different biologically, right?
Very different. It is much softer. It is only about 70% mineral compared to the enamel's 96%.
Right.
More importantly, dentin is highly porous. It is full of microscopic tubes called dentinal tubules that lead directly to the nerve center of your tooth.
Oh, wow. So once the acid dissolves entirely through the hard enamel wall and hits this soft, porous dentin layer, the floor just falls out.
That is the perfect way to visualize it. The surface of the enamel literally collapses inward, creating a physical cavity, a literal hole.
And once it's a hole, you can't just patch it with saliva.
No, you can't. Once the bacteria are inside that porous dentin, they multiply far too quickly, and your saliva physically cannot reach inside the hole to neutralize the acid or deliver mineral.
Makes sense.
The structural integrity is broken. It is biologically impossible to naturally reverse stage 3. You need professional dental treatment to mechanically clean out the infection and seal the hole.
And if you ignore stage 3, you inevitably hit stages 4 and 5, which honestly sound horrific.
They are severe medical situations. Stage 4 is pulp involvement.
The pulp.
Yeah, the bacteria travel down those tiny tubes in the dentin and infect the actual nerve and blood supply of the tooth.
Ouch.
This causes immense pain and almost always requires a root canal. And if left untreated, it becomes stage 5, an abscess.
That's where the infection spreads, right?
Exactly. The infection exits the root of the tooth and begins eating away at your jawbone. It can even enter your bloodstream.
Okay, I want to challenge something here because this feels incredibly tricky for the listener.
Sure, what is it?
If stages 1 and 2 are happening on a microscopic level, inside the enamel, how on earth am I supposed to know if I am at stage 2 and can heal it naturally, or if I have crossed into stage 3 and the phloem has fallen out? I mean, I can't look in the mirror and see my dentin.
You are right that an X-ray from a professional is the only definitive diagnostic tool. But your body does give you physical warning signs that the window for natural reversal has slammed shut.
Like what?
The text is very clear. Once you feel pain, once you experience sharp sensitivity to hot, cold, or sweet foods, or once you can actually see a visible dark pit or hole in the tooth, well, you are already at stage 3 or beyond.
Wait, really? So pain isn't the signal to start trying natural home remedies?
Not at all. Enamel actually has no nerves. You do not feel enamel decay.
I never knew that.
Yeah, if you are feeling pain, it means the decay has breached the enamel, entered the dentin, and the acid is irritating the nerves deep inside your tooth. Pain is the alarm bell that the natural healing window closed a long time ago.
That is such a crucial insight. If it hurts, the home remedies won't work. It's like trying to fix rust on a car frame by buffing the clear coat. It's too late.
Exactly.
So, assuming we are still in that pain-free microscopic window of stages 1 and 2, what are the actual evidence-based tools we can use to help our saliva rebuild that wall? Let's dive into the remineralization toolkit because there is just so much internet hype out there.
Oh, there really is. But according to the clinical data, the absolute undisputed champion of remineralization is fluoride.
Fluoride,
Yeah.
good old toothpaste.
Yep. Fluoride is a naturally occurring mineral, and when you introduce it to the oral environment, something incredible happens. Your saliva normally uses calcium and phosphate to rebuild the enamel. But if fluoride is present, the saliva incorporates the fluoride into the repair process.
So it changes the actual chemistry of the tooth.
Yes, it forms a new compound called fluorapatite. Right. And fluorapatite is physically harder, denser, and significantly more resistant to future acid attacks than the tooth's original structure. Fluoride doesn't just repair the wall, it upgrades the mortar to be acid-proof.
That's awesome. And the sources give a fantastic, highly actionable tip on how we should using our fluoride toothpaste. It says to brush twice a day for 2 full minutes, which is standard, but then it specifically states, do not rinse your mouth immediately after brushing.
This is perhaps the most common mistake people make in their daily routine.
I do it every day.
Most people do. They brush their teeth, spit out the toothpaste, and immediately take a cup of water and aggressively rinse out their mouth. When you do that, you're literally washing away the concentrated fluoride before it has the time to chemically bond with your enamel.
So the takeaway is simple, just spit, don't rinse. Let that residual toothpaste sit on the teeth.
Exactly.
That one tweak alone is going to change so many nighttime routines tonight. Now, beyond fluoride, Dr. Poles also highlights dietary support. But it isn't just about cutting out sugar. It's about actively consuming specific foods, particularly dairy.
Dairy is a powerhouse for remineralization. Foods like milk, cheese, and yogurt provide a massive dietary influx of calcium and phosphate, giving your saliva the exact raw materials it needs to rebuild.
Right.
But cheese is particularly fascinating. It contains specific proteins, like casein, which actually coat the teeth in a protective film.
Really? Like a shield?
Yeah. This film makes it much harder for bacteria to stick to the enamel, and it actively helps buffer the mouth's pH levels, neutralizing the acid faster.
That is amazing. Eat a piece of cheddar, armor your teeth. I love that. And the text also mentions the importance of leafy greens, nuts, and drinking fluoridated tap water, which physically washes away lingering bacteria while providing trace minerals.
All that adds up, yeah.
What?
Daily flossing and a fluoride mouthwash are also huge for cutting plaque overnight.
But I want to pivot to the internet hype side of the toolkit, because the sources specifically address a trend that is everywhere right now, and that's coconut oil pulling.
Yes. Oil pulling has gained immense traction on social media lately as a cure-all for dental issues.
For those who aren't familiar, oil pulling is this ancient practice where you take a tablespoon of oil, usually coconut oil, and vigorously swish it around in your mouth for like 15 to 20 minutes before spitting it out.
Right.
The claim is that it naturally reverses cavities. Now, let me play devil's advocate here based on what we've learned.
Let's hear it.
If the bacteria in my mouth are causing the acid, and oil pulling physically traps and pulls those bacteria out of my mouth, shouldn't reducing the bacteria stop the decay and let the tooth heal?
It is a very logical assumption, and oil pulling does have some limited mechanical benefits. The cell walls of bacteria are fatty, so the oil acts almost like a magnet, binding to the bacteria and helping to physically lift them away from the teeth and gums.
Okay, so it does do something.
So yes, it can help maintain a cleaner environment and reduce plaque buildup as a supplement to brushing. But here's a critical flaw in the cavity reversal claim. Reducing the attackers does not rebuild the wall.
It stops the destruction, but it doesn't provide the mortar.
Exactly. Coconut oil does not contain bioavailable calcium, phosphate, or fluoride. It cannot chemically bond to the tooth. It cannot physically refill the microscopic hollows in the enamel lattice.
Got it.
So if you have a stage 2 white spot lesion, oil pulling alone will never fix it. The blog makes it unequivocally clear. Oil pulling is not a substitute for fluoride brushing, and it cannot reverse tooth decay on its own.
Which brings us to the ultimate conclusion of this deep dive. We've established that natural remineralization is a very real, very scientifically sound process, but it operates on a razor-thin margin.
Very thin.
You have to catch the decay at stage 1 or 2 when it is entirely invisible and completely painless, which means, practically speaking, you are flying blind.
And that is exactly why establishing a baseline with a professional diagnostic team isn't just a recommendation, it is a biological necessity. You need someone with the tools to see the microscopic damage before the floor falls out.
This connects perfectly to why our source material comes directly from Dr. Belis Poles and his practice, Omni Dental of Arlington Heights. Because understanding the science is only half the battle. The other half is having a trusted expert to monitor your specific biology.
Omni Dental is a highly sophisticated practice, actually. They're located at 305 E. Rand Road in Arlington Heights. Dr. Poles brings over a decade of clinical experience, and what is particularly compelling about his approach is the strict patient-first mentality.
Right, and they are heavily invested in advanced environmentally conscious technology.
Exactly.
And that technology isn't just for show. It translates to more accurate diagnoses, like finding those stage 1 white spot lesions we talked about, and much more comfortable, efficient treatments if you do cross into stage 3 and need a mechanical fix.
And they do a lot more than just fillings.
That's what really surprised me about OmniDental, the sheer scope of what they offer. They are a comprehensive hub. I mean, they handle general dentistry, emergencies, root canals, and implants, but they also have a massive aesthetic services division.
It is quite rare to see such a deeply integrated approach in one place.
I know. They offer Botox and dermal fillers, microneedling, laser hair removal, and even IV drip therapy. It really frames the practice as a holistic destination for both health and confidence.
It really does.
And because of that comprehensive care, they serve a huge footprint. They aren't just seeing patients from Arlington Heights. Their service area stretches across Buffalo Grove, Palatine, Mount Prospect, Rolling Meadows, Schaumburg, Wheeling, Des Plaines, and Elk Grove Village.
When you look at the breadth of their services and their community reach, it reinforces the core lesson of our conversation today. The dentist is not the person you go to only when the tooth is completely destroyed.
Right, like going to the doctor only when your leg is falling off.
Exactly. A practice like Omni Dental serves as your early warning radar system. They can spot that microscopic demineralization, apply professional-grade fluoride varnishes to supercharge your remineralization, and correct your home care habits long before the enamel collapses.
They tell you exactly where the wall is weakening so you can patch it yourself. Because without that early detection, as we've learned, you won't know there's a problem until it hurts. And once it hurts, nature can no longer help you.
The biology is entirely in your favor, provided you respect its limits and have the right guidance.
So to summarize for everyone listening, yes, you absolutely can reverse tooth decay naturally, but you have to fuel your saliva's healing power by giving it the time and the building blocks it needs.
Stop the all-day snacking.
Yes. Stop the all-day snacking, introduce calcium-rich dairy into your diet, and upgrade your mortar with fluoride.
And remember the brushing rule.
Exactly. Your most actionable takeaway for tonight's routine is to brush for 2 full minutes and then just spit. Do not rinse. Let that fluoride sit on your teeth and do its chemical magic. And please, if you are feeling any pain or sensitivity right now, the natural window has closed. Don't wait for it to reach the nerve. Call OmniDental at 847-483-8833 and let Dr. Poles and his team handle it before a simple fix turns into a massive problem.
You know, as we wrap up our conversation, there is one detail about this biological process that really lingers with me.
What's that?
Well, we know our teeth rely entirely on our saliva's ability to buffer acid and deliver calcium to heal early decay. It makes you wonder, if researchers could eventually figure out a way to artificially supercharge our saliva, could we one day render the dental drill completely obsolete, making every stage of decay naturally reversible?
Now that is a wild thought. A future where our own bodies can rebuild any biological damage, no matter how deep. But until that day comes, keep an eye on your habits, don't ignore the warning signs, and remember, the drill only becomes inevitable when you stop paying attention. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.